Greetings everyone, my name is Napoleon Complex and I go by Ludendorf on the Slytherin forums. Welcome to the Revenge Against Hannibal series, and this is a series where I have talked to my opponents from the classical division of the Field of Glory to Digital League, and they have agreed, in this case SnuggleBunnies has agreed to take my Hannibal and Africa list, and I have agreed to take his Roman, I believe it is 199 to 106 BC with Greek allies list. And the idea is to see how we do with one another's armies. So we'll talk a little bit about those armies first of all. So I have taken the Roman with Greek allies list. This particular list is characterized by some very strong impact foot, backed up with some pike phalanxes. But these units are extremely expensive. However, they will be very good for breaking through the central line of Hannibal's army, where his mediums may be quite exposed, particularly on open ground, though I do see some rough ground which may cause some problems. So these are units that I want to use as a breakthrough force, but the problem is that if I take too many of them, they will become very expensive and I may struggle to fill out the rest of my line. I do need to bring at least some of these cheaper troops in order to make up the numbers. But for instance, they will obliterate the Phoenician style foot, and they will also do extremely well against the Scutari. So and even the African spearmen and warbands will struggle to stand up to these soldiers. So unless he brings a centre made up of veteran African spearmen or veteran Italian foot, or if I decide to wait a flank instead of using the wedges I'm leaning towards using, if he decides to put them on the wings, where I've weighted my flank, then he is going to struggle to hold back these soldiers. So these will be the main killing wing of my army. And it's really nice that we even have a warband here, because they are a cheaper alternative to the Hastati Principes. And the veteran Hastati probably won't be something I can take in huge numbers. We have some light horse, but it's nothing like that compared to the Hannibal and Africa list, so I will be outnumbered in light cavalry today. My cavalry is not as good either. These armoured cavalry are garbage compared to the noble cavalry of the Carthaginian list, and the single units of Istophori and elephants simply won't stand up to the strong elephant and cavalry wing of the Carthaginian army. And they won't be able to do much against a massed medium press on the wings either. So the cavalry will probably be ancillary to my strategy today, as all of this is rather weak. Looking at my other options, well, I do have access to some good medium options. We have lots of Thureophoroi, and these could actually make for either a good strong centre against, say, a Carthaginian weak centre approach, because these will be very good at killing Phoenician style foot. And they will also be able to match up fairly well against African spearmen, though they will suffer quite badly against the Spanish Scutari unless we get lucky in impact and then can fight back for long enough. So I will probably have to keep these guys protected from the Scutari, but they are good options against the rest of Hannibal's own options, except perhaps the veterans. We have some Italian foot of our own, so we can have some manoeuvrable mediums. The irregular foot probably aren't a good option right now because they'll fall to the Phoenicians. The Phoenician, although they are slightly more expensive, are fully capable swordsmen, and the fact that they are also protected means they are just better all around than the irregular foot. For that 3-point investment, you really do get something better. The Raw Legionaries, however, because of their impact status, may be worth bringing just to pad out the line. I think they will be quite effective against the Phoenician style foot, even if it is just to hold the line from them. Moving down onto the skirmishers, we have some Uzonoi, and these will be an excellent counter to the light javelinmen of the Carthaginian line, and we also have some Velites, so I may want to bring quite a few of these swordsman capable skirmishers. Note that SnuggleBunnies did not have this advantage during his game with me, so as the patch gave these units this capability, so I may decide not to bring them just to make everything square. In that case, I can bring some Cretan archers and some more archers, though these are rather expensive options. And I can also bring some light javelin and slingers, who working together will be quite good at disrupting enemy skirmishers. Just a reminder of the Carthaginian Hannibal and Africa list. It comprises of an excellent selection of mediums, anything from Spanish Sutari up to veteran Italian foot, and going the other way we have these incredibly cheap and numerous Venetian style foot who are excellent at padding out the line and creating a very long battle line, which is good for outflanking the other side. Note that these units will not be good when placed in the flank due to the fact that they are maneuverable, and I expect that they may be placed in the centre instead. So these may make a good option for my troops to break through. The light javelin may suffer against my swordsman capable infantry, but they are cheaper. But other than that, I don't think the Carthaginian skirmishers offer too much in the way of interesting troops. I will need to be a little bit careful of the archers working together with Balearic slingers, as they can get disruptions against my skirmishers quite easily and can even cause some damage to my heavy troops. And as mentioned before, this is a much better cavalry wing. Of particular note are these veteran African spearmen. Now, these are amongst the few soldiers who can stop even my veteran Hastati Principes dead in their tracks. So I need to be careful and look carefully at where he places these, because he will almost certainly bring some of them, and he'll probably max out on both of these units. Wherever these units are, I need to be focusing my efforts elsewhere, because they are the most dangerous units on the map. The elephants may also cause a problem for my impact foot, and I may want to have some spearmen or even some pikemen ready to counter. However, in my experience, elephants are usually not decisive, and there are usually a variety of methods that can be used to hold them off. Okay, with all of that out of the way, I will be back once I've selected my army. Okay, here's the army I've chosen. I've chosen no cavalry. In fact, I'm already regretting. Now the plan is, as you can see, I've matched up my forces carefully to the terrain on the other side of the map, and this is, well, I mean, this formation should be able to fight if SnuggleBunny comes out and attacks me in the plain. But I'm also considering if he hunkers back on the terrain as he did in the classical era match, and then tries to move from there. In fact, this actually looks incredibly similar to the map I fought on in classical. It's almost eerily similar. There wasn't the rough ground here, but we had a forest here. But there's no forest over here this time, unless you count this area over here. Maybe we're in the county over or something. In any case, I have laid out my general's bodyguards. As you can see, now for once I've taken the pike phalanxes, even though I usually don't consider them good value for money, and the reason these guys are here is to stop potential elephant charges. So as you can see, my line, aside from this area where I have to have medium foot, my line goes impact foot, pike, impact foot, spear, impact foot, spear, and this is to try and help me repel elephant charges, as if the elephants get into my impact foot, then the effect could be quite disastrous. I've brought quite a lot of skirmishers and focused on my skirmish foot for that reason, and of course the Velites have the added benefit of being able to chase off enemy skirmishers due to their swordsman capability. I have refused to flank a little bit. This is partially due to the deployment boundaries, but I also think it is sensible as the enemy cavalry are likely to be coming along this way. I will, however, shift them out so that they can potentially block an enemy cavalry charge, though elephants are again a bit of a concern. Blasted pachyderms. So the plan is to just move up, keeping the flanks protected with the units on the flanks, and dealing with any spearmen with the pikes and the spears. Speaking of, I'm sure they should be there. In which case we need to change the command groups around. Alright, next turn. So SnuggleBunnies is mocking me a little for seemingly going long line. To be fair, that is kind of what I ended up doing, isn't it? He set up quite aggressively. Hmm. Yeah, those light cavalry are going to be a problem. And yes, the elephant. Okay. Time is sort of the essence. I want to get these formations moving quickly. With a bit of a maneuver trick. Let's see. I see, okay, so we're okay here. Yeah, send some velocities to help. So I want to intercept those noble cavalry eventually. That's a concern because the elephant is going to come out to strike the Italian foot, who are not particularly good at receiving elephant charges. I think it's time for my cavalry to for my pikes to very quickly make their way over to this side, this flank of the battlefield. Okay. Well, they shouldn't be too much out on the limb there. That's fine. Push everything out. Right, and now we can move up quickly. Oops. It'll be fine. It'll all be fine, even if it isn't. We kind of need to keep this formation here, don't we? I didn't consider what he might have in the woods. So, this is weird. He's actually taken less soldiers than I have. So even when I'm playing an army like this, I end up going along line. It's interesting. I might want to match me, right, because that was the whole point. We were going to lean towards the rough ground, weren't we? But I think the cavalry threw off my calculations. But this line will need to start to shift rightward, which means these guys are going to be out on their own, blocking the cavalry. Which is going to make my life interesting, I think. Oh yeah, so that's actually quite a long line. Right, I'm going to do a quick cavalry check for the, and then, well, you know what, I'll see you next turn. God, stop playing late at night. Alright. He's exchanging the units behind the rough ground for the heavy infantry. So he's going to move his heavy infantry over here, and his medium troops are going to move here. Though I don't know why he's moved everything else here. Oh, I know what he's doing. This is a refused flank. I think, though I don't know what this is about. Well, probably quicker to move them this way than to try and get them to roam across the rough ground. Let's see. What to do. Right, you know what? This situation means nothing to me. Hit him with the javelins, tell him to shove off. If they're a little bit far out of formation, well, that just means they're close to the cavalry they're trying to block. This flank refusal was a problem. See, if I had even one unit of cavalry, I could send out an infantry force to block this more effectively. I should never have attempted this without any cavalry. It's one of those you don't realize what you've left behind until you need it moments. You know, if I took my time and if I disposed of the skirmisher force first, then that could be useful, because I could then turn the skirmisher force into cavalry. And these veletaes will be a difficulty for the enemy wherever they go. So if he's going to refuse that flank, alright then. Keep going. I have a plan. No, this is where I need to start thinking. It's going to slow us down a little bit. But with the elephant retreating, that's not such a big threat. Alright, next turn. So unit selection at the start is always a bit of a mind game. That's kind of what we're discussing in chat. So I went into this thinking that I was going to go for this very quality heavy wedge formation with refused flanks on both sides. And what's actually ended up happening is I've gone for the same formation, which I end up going for almost all the time, which is an extended line. I don't know if he realised that I couldn't see that. He could possibly have kept that hidden from me until it was too late for me to respond. As it is, I think I'll start to try to get in their way. So the plan was, yeah, he's definitely pulling back into a refused flank here. My Sutari are not superbly suited to taking on those. Sorry, my Thuria-Forai are not superbly suited to take on those Astati. And I'd really like the pike phalanx to confront the veteran African spears. So if he's walling up, that gives me a, well... Oh, he's even pulling back the cavalry. I would have thought that was kind of his trump card if he could get them behind, but I suppose with me coming out like this, it's difficult for him to get behind. I'm not going to throw away my veletaes by throwing them out into that. Well, I do need to be careful that elephants are still extremely dangerous. Let's straighten up the line because I'm not going to be making any massive sprints for the... so I think I'll just creep forward this turn. I'll be back next turn. The thing is, boxing up like that isn't going to save his army, because I do still have a qualitative edge with these pike phalanxes. The only unit that's really dangerous to me. Well, if he can get his Spanish Tutari in amongst my Phoenician foot, they are dangerous, but the only units that are really dangerous are his Western African Spearmen. His cavalry, which are going around the flanks now, that's worrying me. That is one way I lose. Those cavalry just descend on my flanks and they drive into my forces. This is a bit... Light cavalry are buzzing around my wings. There is a limit to what I can do about that, honestly. Think about where, so they can carve around to here, and then they'll be... Oh, great. They are almost back around my lines as well. If they move to here, I can trap them. But definitely keep moving this way. We cannot let them around our lines. I mean, he's drawn off 48, almost 90 points worth of units with only 88. So, well, that's kind of a wash. And if he's going to use his light javelin horse too, then that's drawn off more of his army. Right, give me a moment. I'm going to count the army sizes again. He either has more cavalry or he has about 3 more units of infantry hidden in these woods, which is actually starting to draw me a little bit thin on the right flank. That cavalry unit is bothering me, because my Italian foot are not a great pick for fighting noble cavalry. They can do it, I mean, they'll be able to lock him down, but it's not ideal. Let's see, he's going to move to 1, 2, 3, 4. I think he'll move to here next. I think to here. Then he'll be able to ride around. The rough ground will get in his way. If I can make a tight enough turn, I think I can intercept him here. But it's going to be difficult. Especially with these unmaneuverable troops. And he's obviously leading me away from the battlefield. Well, that situation honestly isn't going to get any better for me, so I need to keep moving. Two units of armoured cavalry, and I would have solved this problem. And of course, I'll maneuver with this, and of course, the fact that my troops are unmaneuverable is really starting to get in my way. Now, what are you going to do? Right, keep my skirmishers behind my lines for the moment. We'll turn and then move out. Also, at least my skirmishers will afford me some protection against those cavalry behind my back. I am really not liking this situation. We're miles away from that refused flank. I have cavalry prowling around my rear areas, and the light cavalry are bad enough. Once the medium cavalry arrive, we're toast. This is starting to feel appropriately enough like Cannae. Next turn. Yikes. Lucky that cavalry was facing the way it was. Alright. Don't get too close to my skirmishers. We'll start taking rear charges from those light javelin horse next turn. Oh, we need to turn around. That's the only thing. Could we kind of prevent that? I kind of feel like I haven't been playing to my best the last couple of games. Because the thing is, they can also go this way. And we're getting dangerously close to his line now. I'm looking at this because how can I possibly stop these noble cavalry out in the open? They just have too many ways to ride around me. However, it's probably better if he's forced to try and go this way because I can then turn around and just stop my line. I can also bring in these velites to harass him. Thing is, he can just ride off into the sunset here. It's just not going to work. Okay, literally the only chance I have right now is to get on with it. I need to think about it more carefully than that. The archer-skirmisher combination is the most dangerous to my foot, so I'm going to send my skirmishers out to deal with this, to confront this. But I need my... Oh, let's see. Why do I feel increasingly like I'm being replaced by a less competent player who doesn't know what he's doing? Oh, hell. Moving now to wall that up. Okay, move in because they're going to have to straighten up soon. It's because I'm sweating bullets from that cavalry. Next turn. So SnuggleBunny seems to be slowly achieving a can-I style encirclement against me here. Right, what's that cavalry unit doing? So let's see, it can move. I need to be very careful and think about where it can move to. So yeah, he'll be around here, but so let's see. Right, I'm going to make a move against his light troops because the light troops are going to be useful against his oncoming mediums as well. The only thing is if I move there I won't be able to protect my slingers. Wait, I think I know. I think I can. Because they can't charge my troops now, which means I can focus all of my fire in against those light javelin horse. Move in here. I'm afraid the back of my line is just going to have to tank this for the moment, as we're fighting in multiple directions. I think what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to just suddenly turn around and go all in on against his back forces to try and catch them off guard, because I'm not, and just for the moment just defend against his missile infantry, because I need to clear up this back situation. This could end up being a draw at this point, as my army kind of gets distracted basically by his backline forces, because I don't think I have the strength to... Well, he's managed to get me into a position where I can't really attack safely because my front line is in so much danger from his flankers. So unfortunately we're just going to have to defend ourselves for the moment. I'm aware of those skirmishers and the threat they pose to my 3 of 4i. And okay, we'll just have to tank this for a while. The archers worry me. But I am going to show that I'm prepared to chase them around. I'm going to start bringing my line back together. But no, I can't just advance into the face of this. Next turn. SnuggleBunnies is suggesting a surrender, but I would consider a surrender a draw at this point, to be honest. Because we're now in an awkward position where he can't really advance without exposing his line, and I can't really retreat. I can't really come to grips with him either because I'm afraid of his cavalry. This would have gone much better if I'd actually brought my own cavalry. As it is, we're kind of in this messy situation now. He does have cavalry on either side of my line, so he does have an avenue to win this. I think he should keep going right now because he has me in a difficult position. And if he can time an infantry advance right while I'm struggling with all of these encircling units, then that could yield results for him. Keep chasing these down. He's left these close so I can get to them. That was lucky. I don't usually get disruptions on my first on the first javelin throw like that. I think my slingers can just about get within range to strike here, because I can get to this square here. So let's really try and close down these light javelin horse, give them some trouble. And if nothing else, force them to go away and leave us alone. I've got his foot skirmishers to worry about as well. Okay. This might be a day for the light, so at least we can, if we can't get a result from the main armies, then at least we can have a bit of a light infantry clash. Let's see. I have an idea here. No, wait, that's not the unit I was trying to. I need to pull back. This is the unit I need to pull back. The thing is light cavalry are currently out unsupported. I couldn't quite disrupt them. If only my units weren't facing away at this particular moment in time. And I can't move them into attack yet, ranged. At least I don't think I can. Hold on a moment. No, they can't. They're not going to be able to make that. I'm kind of wondering if I can use one of my units to shunt, but now these slingers are in an awkward position. Let's try it anyway, because we are in a bit of a stalemate. I do need to try and shake things up if we're going to have a battle here. Nope, nothing. Okay, let's pull back a little bit. And my line is kind of coming a cropper here. You look him back, Triari, I'd like you close to us. He's turned his light cavalry away so I can relax a little bit. I don't have to worry about being flank charged and disrupted. And yeah, I need to move this unit here to shield against a charge towards my troops, which could catch my units out in a bad position. So fall back into a solid line. I think I'll detach some units behind my lines. The thing is, he's also kind of drawn me out into the open field, and I just realised I've let these guys become very exposed. Indeed, because they aren't going to be able to turn. I should have left them facing the square. So that will come back to bite me next turn. I think we can close this up and still get a match, but it's going to be difficult. Next, we'll see how SnuggleBunnies is feeling and if we want to continue this. Lucky. So I managed to get away with my misclick, not misclick, misjudgment last turn. It's a matter of time before they manage to get a disruption there. At least it's not many casualties. The real threat is from disruptions, from lost combats. The cavalry's closing in. Uh-oh. Now, if Bunny pressed out now, I would be caught in quite a nasty position indeed. Because he's got me enveloped on 3 different sides now. And that's not counting the light horse. That's just the heavies. I am quite close to intercepting this cavalry. Don't move there because I want to encourage this movement. He can flank us from there. Anyway, I've got this to worry about. There's one thing I can do. Everyone ready for the Mads Ludendorf plan of the day? It didn't work. Though at least I can probably hammer his archers. And that's a bit grisly. Swing these troops in here. I think we might be forced to engage soon. So maybe we'll swoop in here, seeing as these guys are exposed anyway. Well, we may as well. Okay. These guys are forward anyway, so move here. And that should stop them from concentrating fire on the 304i. Although it does also prevent us from concentrating fire on the archers. Is there another way of doing this? Well, I guess it's much of a much. The problem is that you can still focus on their static principes, but they're at least heavily armored. Well, they have some armor, so I'm willing to do that. And the rest of the army should just be on guard for now. Well, let's think about facing. No, it's fine for now. If I can pin in this cavalry, I can start to move again. But as long as this cavalry's floating around, I'm paralyzed. And he's not entirely free of trouble either. I think what I will do is just, because I don't know where or how this cavalry will break through, I'm going to tactically turn a few units around everywhere in my line. And that means that if the infantry suddenly advances forward, I can send troops back to block this cavalry appropriately, and the rest of my line can turn around. This is a very dangerous situation, but we're not out of it yet. Actually, because although they can reach us here, they're unlikely to actually catch us. No, that's extremely dangerous, and not really worth it given the reward on offer. I'll just turn and attack here, and we get the disruption. So lots of disruptions mounting up now. Let's see, is it wise to turn this unit around? I think with all the other units I have available to come and help here, it's fine. I need something facing that light javelin horse. Okay, next turn. Ah, whoops. I should probably go and move these units. Threaten these spears, but they can also turn around and threaten the cavalry if he starts to move up here. Okay, now it's next turn. Don't really have anything to strike at this turn. I've driven off the encirclers to at least some degree. I can at least make a strike here. Alright. Right, let's have a look at the front line again. Probably some unknown threat in the woods here. I think with the threat from his cavalry receding a little bit, I can start to think about the attack again. Move over to here so that we're ready to strike. Start turning around again. So obviously I'll need my 3 or 4 eye here. And I'll probably want my Astati to go this way. So just starting to turn around and face his army. Without doing anything foolish like turning a flank or something. Try and keep some spaces apart. You could try to ride through here, but I think you just end up getting shoved in front of my army again. Unfortunately, there isn't much I can do except turn to face these skirmish horse. Try and save our ammo unless you can concentrate fire. Because yes, that unit's disrupted now, so it's not much of a threat to our backs. And the rest of the army can just start to move forward. And keep these guys out of the centre because they are blocking most of his available runs. And if he gets a unit if a unit can get in front of these units and block their progress, then we've achieved one of our key objectives, which is stopping this cavalry unit from threatening the back line of my left flank or my centre. And hopefully that will allow me to start to close this army down. But it's going to be difficult because there's a lot of strong units in this flank guard. But there are definitely a few units I can potentially just smash through here. Next turn. Okay. That's a lot of pressure on a unit of Italian foot. Interesting. He's pulling back and forming a defensive perimeter. Ah, blast. These guys aren't facing the right way. Okay. I think whatever way he moves, I can block him. Light horse are still stalking around. But at least I can move to block the cavalry. Turning this way, he'd... No, probably best to close his options off here. Make sure that he can't travel through this area here. Because if he tries to go this way, he'll just be forced further back towards the battlefield, actually. And it's tricky because he could dart over to here, and then I'll have cavalry at my rear again. I may have to leave a little bit of a gap here. Yes, he can run to here, but he can't get any further than that, and I could shove him towards my lines. It's a case of using these units to keep him trapped in. If he moves to here, I can zone of control lock him. And I could then move through the built-up area. I think the built-up area will slow him down. It's a difficult one. My skirmishers need to pull back towards the battlefield. We can't keep them all locked down unless... Those light javelin are a nuisance, but they're not the most critical section of the line to challenge. I think I'd rather bring these guys back to challenge the... I don't know what I can do. I'll move my troops off towards his cavalry to threaten them. And that will force a reaction, or at least keep pressure on this cavalry unit. And the same idea over here, that means he can't just check out a battle with his light troops. He has to keep them in battle, because otherwise my skirmisher foot will start to threaten his cavalry. So that's the first step to preparing for an assault here. Okay. Now let's examine his line for failure points. These Phoenician style foot are very vulnerable. He's got a unit of veteran African spears anchoring them, however. 3 of 4 I should be a good choice for that assault, actually, and I have one available. If my pike phalanx can be the one to attack the veteran African spears, hopefully this will work out. Let's see, because I need to make sure that my line is solid. They're going to have to straighten up to keep our troops back. Oh, these guys can't move, can they? Alright. I wonder what's in the woods. Hopefully not more than 3 units. What did I just say about keeping my troops back? They're going to have to move up though. I suppose we may as well form a solid line. We'll need to keep these units out in this kind of block shape, just in case my 3 of 4 I fail in the charge and the other units need to attack from this square here to avoid the zone of control. We're going to try and force gaps in the line around these vulnerable units. Pike phalanx is the best choice to threaten those veteran African spearmen, and the 3 of 4 will be useful around the town. They'll have to move them around a little bit. The Royal Legionaries aren't a great pick against the Spanish Cetari, though at least they're heavy. A better one would be my Hastati option would be my Hastati Principes, but they're way at the back of the line. I don't know what to do about the elephants at the top. The Triari would at least help to hold them up. If I can get the let's see. It's a shame my infantry here. If I can move my Italian foot across, maybe I can free up my Triari to help with the elephant battle. This is it. Next turn. Right, we're coming to grips with the with Hannibal's army now. Some of his skirmishers have started to rally up. And light horse are coming back. Unfortunately, my army needs to form up this turn. And I'm not going into this forest until I know exactly what I'm dealing with. We'll advance on this axis and we're aiming for this unit of we're aiming for the veteran African spears actually. So I suppose I should line up like this to move like this. Let's see. They're going to hit this unit on the rough ground here. I suppose these Sutari should move out here then. So we're trying to swing these units right around. Back here we've got various units of... Right, I remember because I was going to bring these units in to help against the cavalry. Right, no mercy. If the cavalry are exposed, get in there, get in their faces, start bringing them down. These units are my biggest fear on the battlefield right now, and we have to try and take care of them. And keep them bottled up as well. Now that's a general.noble cavalry unit. That could turn around to face my raw legionaries. Keep our support close. So look at this unit here. It can go off in this direction, in which case it could start to run around my rear. So I need to work out where I want to place. It can run to here, which I can block. It can run to here, which I can block, but I can't stop movements over here very easily. If I move to this position, he can run straight past me, so that's bad. Problem is that I can't really stop this unit from moving off anymore. If he did move there, what could I do? Where could I move in exchange? Because this is definitely his opportunity for victory, if he can get these units out into the open behind my lines where I have no reserves. Okay, move our skirmishers closer to the action. Because that is obviously in my interests. I want to try to bring his cavalry to account, because I know I can't block them forever with this unit of Italian foot. I might even go so far as to acknowledge that and just turn around back towards my lines. Okay, next turn. Sorry, one more thing. Moving up here to protect this square here, because otherwise you can focus fire on this Stata unit. Okay, now it's next turn. The light horse are problematic, because any one of them could manage to charge in and disrupt my infantry. Curious. Keeps backing off. This is looking remarkably similar to our battle in League. Well, I'm committing now. Whatever's out there, we're just going to have to deal with it. This has been a long game of cat and mouse, and I'm determined to end it now. Hopefully I can get through without making any careless errors. Okay. Our legionaries are continuing this kind of transfer of strength. Get some skirmishers over there to help them turn. And that's alright, I guess. It's not like we're wasting any ammo. The elephants are a problem. I'll move some velites up to maybe help with that. We're just going to have to endure the light horse and hope we can end the battle before the heavy horse get back involved. Interesting that the light horse are drawing back like this. So he's back. I know he's in this square here. No, he's here. So we can move here, here, here. Let's see, 1, 2, 3. He could move there and he'd be out, but he'd be in a forest of skirmishers, and going this way leads him across rough ground. Let me move to here. I mean, he can eventually get away with me. I think I'll move out after him 1 square. Okay. And the skirmishers will just continue to try and make progress. I'll send this one this way though, so that we can potentially intercept any attempt to dash across the rough ground and attack our troops. We're finally going to decide this. Next turn. Right. That would have been a nasty surprise to meet in the forest. was wondering where those other veterans were. We're going to take at least one rear charge before I can get into the action. Ouch! Would have expected Velites to be able to stand their ground against light javelin horse. He's definitely drawing back. Which is the right thing to do. He's trying to buy time before a clash. Skirmishers are going to make things tricky for me, as they always do. That's going to be an interesting pursuit path. Give them the general, because they're going to be confronting the enemy pike. Every time I fall for it, every time. Okay, how much does that change things? Well, I suppose it's not a terrible deal if my pike phalanx ends up fighting some Sutari. But what am I going to confront his veteran African spears with? I don't have any veteran legionaries of my own. It's going to have to be the Hastati Principes. Okay, what's in the village? 3 of 4. Uh-oh. Oh, why do I always fall for that? Every single time. Because he can now engage here. And then he'll get the flank of my most valuable unit. I've just lost his flank. One careless move, and again it's because I didn't see this. That's the same thing that happened to me in the tournament. I get very angry with myself when I repeat mistakes. This should not have happened. I should have known better than this. That's undermined my entire flank now. Utter disaster. And of course, if I can't challenge these Sutari, I'll need a general on this flank. Then I can't get access to the other side of his line either. What might help, and I can't shuffle things over because of the forest. I can see what the game is there. I'm going to have to go around. And that's fine. I can take a bit of time to sweep around the flanks. Never mind. I've devoted all the energy I'm going to that. It is what it is. Lots of zone of control trickery going on here, because of course when they turn around, I'm going to be trapped in this position because my Thorakita will be attacking out of the woods. Now I can try and do something about that by locking down the Sutari. What an ugly start to the clash. Well done, SnuggleBunnies, for putting me in this position here. There are moments where I feel I kind of have a bit of imposter syndrome going on, where I sometimes wonder if I'm as good at this game as people seem to think I am. And it's moments like this that cement it, because I can't see a player like Nosy Rat doing something as stupid as that. Next turn. And I just realised that I went into that massive tirade last turn, only that I don't actually think he can get a... Well, he can get a flank attack on me, but I don't think he can get an automatic cohesion drop on me. Which means my fury was kind of for nothing. Oh, very good manipulation of my troops' expectations there. That's very scary. That's also very scary. Now they will get pushed back onto the rough ground, which will slow me down. He's not hesitating. Which makes sense. Well, that at least prevents any flank attacks from happening. Oh, well done. Needs to be careful sending elephants against pikes. Crunch. Is he actually going to charge out here? I would have thought he would want to protect this flank, but he probably sees I'm going to be going around his flank anyway. Oh, I see he's left this one in place, and okay. Well, I could be patient and try and wait for this, for victories to happen here, but then remember I've got these light javelin horse to my back as well. Right. So they're going to lose quickly. Oh, he really has messed me up quite badly here. If my raw legionaries push up far enough to push those troops out of the way, that might give me grounds for something. Right. The problem, right, this is what I was going over, that's a terrible situation. Let's say my troops really do have to go all the way around now in order to find a good matchup. I will get there eventually, but it's going to take time to take effect. And in the meantime, other things are happening on the battlefield. I can try this. No dice and impact. Let's be careful and not miss anything. Well, I can be here because I know these guys are going to be racing off to attack me on the battlefield. The thing is, if he approaches the rough at any point, I can potentially charge at him. So I think what I'll do is let him advance for the moment. But I need to end this battle before that cavalry gets to me, because it will get to me eventually. This light battle isn't very consequential, but while we have the chance to fight it, let's fight it, because it is an advantageous situation to me. Let's catch these light horse in a little trap. Good. And bring in skirmishers to help even more. Although, I don't think I'd be able to turn on his horse there. I see, he's bringing them back and he's going to threaten the flanks here. Oh, we're still going to try this. Nope. Now I need to think very carefully about the situation. If I can break this unit quickly, that will help. See, they're now disrupted. Hopefully I can break through here at a fast rate. I do not want my Italian foot to end up fighting the elephants. But now, of course, my pike could be disrupted. I was trying to break through here and save this situation, but in hindsight, that probably wasn't where the good money lay. And there's a good chance that if I charge now my light javelinmen, they will over pursue into these light javelinmen, end up in front of the Phoenician style foot, and they'll get flanked from both sides because my raw legionaries aren't positioned yet. So this has slowed me down. What I should probably do then is keep these units in reserve and try and block his cavalry, because if this unit breaks, I'm going to need someone to protect the flanks of my pike phalanx. But it's looking rather nasty here, and of course we've got this horrible situation evolving. Right. They won't last long. But if I can disrupt one of these units, do I want to carry into an assault? Because I have got all those units here locked down. But there are problems with that. Big problems. Because this unit won't be able to charge because of the veteran Italian foot. And if I charge this line, he can turn this unit to flank once I drive through. I've seen this kind of play before by players defending rough ground positions, and I probably need to wait until my Spanish Sutari can get right around the backs, but that's going to take a long time. I just realised you guys should take the general to make sure you're in command, because you're the ones who need to turn. If it's an emergency, I could just do a Hail Mary charge, but it's not ideal. This unit apparently has the best chance, so I will give them the commander-in-chief and see if we can break them. Yes! Okay. But now they're still protected. And a disaster! Right, but I can potentially force them to move up. Alright, that keeps things interesting at least. I'm actually in a bad position now. Let's see, so I've got these units in reserve for when this unit breaks. This unit's going to break, but that unit's going to break as well. We're outnumbered here by both the elephants and the Phoenician style foot, and there's no guarantee what will happen here. And I probably need my Triari for the moment to protect against the noble cavalry. They're probably best to hold back here for the minute and not advance, because he might try and scoot around this side. Oh. Yeah, revenge against Hannibal isn't going too well so far. I've already suffered 2 for 2 defeats. Hopefully I don't end up losing again here next turn. That's the bad time for a rally to happen. And that's going to make the elephant charge all the worse. Oh, he blocked them in. The blighter. There's no honour amongst gentlemen. Ouch. Yeah, they gave up the ghost awfully quickly. Are my troops going to panic? Nope, but there's more. Okay, we held back, but there's two more, two charges going in. And now they charge. This is going really badly now. Interesting. And there's no point in moaning about it. It's a legitimate move. Let's drive them off at least. See if we can't get rid of them in one volley. Just realised that that almost interfered with the battle. Well, I suppose if I'm going to lose my pikes, I might as well at least take his cavalry out. You've got to be joking. Is the moon going to land on my head next? That was foolish, that just let them escape. Getting desperate now. And that won't work. And I know why he's moved them around to here. It's because he can use the light javelin to charge me in the rough. This is a masterful defense by SnuggleBunnies. This is such a shame. I'm seeing so many ways this could have gone differently. Okay, let's work our way forwards. Get our commander-in-chief back over here. We're going to launch a charge here. Okay. Break them. Okay, no panic. But it does expose the flanks of these units here. And I know I've undermined my position here, but my position's become a lot less safe now. Let's think about this. So what would allow him to open my line up? Because maybe we're safe here. With a bit of thought, I might be able to tie all of this together. That could work. So I'm out again. It's a case of that I'm out of safe options, so I now need to try the risky stuff. Oh, this could go really horribly wrong. You lost an impact, didn't you? Still going to drive forward. Aggression is my only shield now. Curse those Spanish Cetari and their location. Keep moving. I have a plan. I think I can get into these guys. Charge. We're gonna break through here, turn the pikes around, and then try and swamp this area. And this is just gonna be a holding action now. Is there any point in trying to save this? Okay. I'm glad it's going this way. This is a lot more exciting than me just breaking through his line in various places. Just weighing this up. So at least I'll get some. Let's see, that elephant will probably break through and rumble on to here. I think it's some matter, and I'm in range of his cavalry, so I can't fall back. My only choice is to move forward, really. That elephant unit will reach me regardless of what I do once the pikemen fall. I could at least try to suppress the worst of this effect, maybe get the kill on the cavalry if I'm lucky enough. But then the pike phalanx could just fall apart and then we could suffer a morale shock. I think I have to let that entire flank slip. It's all very ugly. Let's, what can he do to me in the meantime? There's also the fact that once these hastati break, this could crumple very quickly before I get the chance to use these raw legionaries with Thorikiti on his Phoenician-style foot. And SnuggleBunnies will see the danger here immediately. He's going to try to stop me from doing this. Next turn. Here come the fireworks. Well, that's something. Hmm. Interesting that he chose to commit that unit. It's one of those uncomfortable moments where your opponent has so many local advantages that they're choosing how to kill you. And the cavalry are back. Okay. No comment. I've got various fights I'm in. I know, death's coming for us. That helps a lot. Take this chance first. Okay, not good. Strange how the chance suddenly shot down like that. I could give them the general and see if they hold out. They actually have decent chances. I think these... oh, this is horrible. I think these Hastati have a better chance of living for a long period of time if they can withstand everything that's going on here. Keep going. Let's just see what's going on along the line for a minute. I completely forgot about what was going on over here. The truth is, once that all of this is going to go pretty quickly, and those elephants are also going to go barreling this way. I think we'll actually push the cavalry off. Couldn't quite get them to leave the map, could I? But that gets our troops out of the way of all of this nastiness. I can hope that these troops get driven back. That'll get the senatorial a little bit further away from me. Chances are they'll fragment on impact. If I can buy myself enough time for these units to come back, then I might stand a chance. So just stay out of contact for now. Who do I die to first? Well, the alternative is to try and rally up. And I'm gonna do the daft thing and try to rally up. Okay. Now the coin toss. We passed it. Okay. That buys us another turn of life. I'm not sure how much good that's going to do us next turn. Bunny thinks I have it. I don't know why he's so confident that I am going to win this, because I sure as hell don't feel confident. I'll tell you that much right now. I know in a battle everyone feels like they're losing. But I feel like my pessimism is warranted under the circumstances. It's a lot of pressure those 3 or 4 are under. Amazing that we held firm there, but they are in rough terrain after all. The flank attack here will help me. Ooh, they got to me fast. Oh, go away, horsemen! They fell back to the spot where my troops are... No, that got my cavalry out of hock, but of course, he can just do it to me again next turn. But we're probably going to break these soon anyway. There they go. We needed that. Okay. Yeah. I cannot understate how much luck I am having right now. Overstate, sorry. I can't overstate how much luck I'm having just now. It's amazing all of this held together. Absolutely amazing. When did they disrupt? Crunch. That does give me a bit of a dilemma. Oh, and I just realised where they rallied up. Okay, and I've had a rally as well. Get our general back to the fight. Pin those guys up against the wall. Right, I'm tired of making mistakes. Let's consider all of this carefully. We want to get rid of this noble cavalry this turn. There's nothing around to... No, but they could rout and that could influence what happens next. So let's consider everything carefully. There's nothing that can interfere in this fight, so let's resolve it and see what happens. We stand our ground. Do we fall back? No, we don't. Okay. There is the possibility that a sudden break could influence this melee here, which would actually make it worse, so we want to resolve this now. Okay, so while we have the chance, we'll resolve that. We pass melee. Okay. Okay, so they're now committed. I didn't fully think things through, but that's okay, I think, under the circumstances. I'm going to launch a charge here to try and get into these noble cavalry and break them. So let's do that. There they go. We break the cavalry. Does that also cause panic in the troops? It causes panics amongst the troops. Panic amongst the troops even. Though, well, we're still up against all of this. And I'm losing all the way around here. There is nothing more I can do. I can only take the chances. We pass that chance. That's... Take the elephants. We lose that chance, but we hold our ground. No, actually, it's just the loss of our pike ranks is starting to diminish our fighting power. We don't pass that chance, so our unit is now fragmented, but they held on for a heroic amount of time. I shouldn't have done that because they're of course going to run into here. Oh, but okay, they got out of the way. That was lucky. Do not move these velleties up to the light javelin. It could interfere. They could then move down and interfere with this fight. Is there anything more useful we could do with them? Yes, there is. It's a risk. Shall I take it? I think it's probably better just to pin them in place just now. It might even lead the elephants off if I'm lucky. And my velletes are strong. so... Well, he's got light forces up here who can move down to support. It's a shame I can't turn because I see those units here could move and try to interfere with our charge here. Because they're impact, it's not likely because I think the impact foot will choose to take a flank attack on these Phoenician style foot. But it would be nice to have some skirmishers ready to push them away. I could try and charge them, but if they stood their ground it would be disastrous for us. I don't really know what to do with these troops. And their ammunition's low, but concentrating skirmishers over here could help against the elephants if they come through. So we will do that. I'm also mindful of the risk to these disrupted raw legionaries. This flank attack is a no-brainer. Okay. Now hit. Okay, Bunny's troops are proving stubborn. Okay. No change to this battle situation here. Now I could try and go after the veteran African spearmen to save my Hastati Principes. But the cavalry's threatening this line here, and I think I have to deal a hammer blow to this section of the line and try and break it quick. We didn't win on impact. Okay, setback. Quite a major one at that, because now he has a choice of which units to break. And honestly, these cavalry could go right through and into the back of all of this. But at least I've done my best. I made the best call I could with the information I had available to me. And now into the sections of the battlefield where we're not going to do so well. Try and shove the light javelin off, but that doesn't work, and now we have to face the veteran Italian foot. I'll take just in case the general dies, I'll take that first. We stand our ground. The fact that the general's in melee there will have helped us. And now we attack the Spanish Scutari. And that's my turn over. There's nothing else I can do beyond that. I can move up and throw some javelins and try and soften up these noble cavalry a little bit, but that's not going to change the fact they're going into my back next turn. I wonder if I made the right call attacking his veteran African spearman, but if I'd broken all of this I could have won. It goes to show that this is in flux and we don't know what's going to happen yet. The thing is, all of this is raw, so there's a good chance it'll all go, and that could panic my pikes, and then we're in trouble. All of this will be in trouble, and remember that this situation over here isn't good, so I'll be left only holding the centre. It's difficult. You guys need to make for that village. And given the fact you're out, I don't know if you can move on like that. What's the fastest way? It might be better. We might be best off just trying to limp towards the forest's edge. But they can only move one square per turn. If I'm right, there's an obstacle as well. They have 10 AP available, and they only start with 6 AP? Is that due to the fragmentation, or will I get the full 10 AP back? I don't know. I don't know how it works. Problem is, I think that cavalry can be on me by the time I get to the woods, so it's not going to work. I won't be able to hide away in time. Let's see. Take back for a second, let's measure this out. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, and then we move one square forward. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, they'll be upon me. I need to try to get to the village first. Even if it doesn't work, it's worth trying to get there. I don't have any other choice next turn. Oh, saved by the indiscipline of the Phoenician foot. Oh, I'll take it. And I just realised where my velites are positioned. That wasn't actually deliberate. I wasn't trying to block those Astati in. Oh, this is going to be ugly. Yeah, it would have been a miracle if they hadn't gone into the back of those troops. It's another instant break. And he's set up for another flank attack. To be honest, both sides' armies are exploding pretty violently here, but really depends of these Phoenician stuff. But hold on. Okay. Right. Certainly a blow that my pike phalanx got disrupted that turn. That's useful. They're unlikely to come back, they've been beaten to hell. Right, managed to get his veteran African spearman in the back. Although, it just goes to show how tough these units are, that even with 2 units flanking them on either side and disrupted, they've still stood their ground. Get rid. They're going to stand there. No, it was just an amazingly. It was just an amazing roll, but not this time. The light horse had been a nightmare this entire battle. Take a general and see if we can't break this unit. And that routing unit means we can't get them either. Oh, I see what he's going to do. So he's probably going to engage here and flank here and then engage me here while I'm disrupted. Fiendishly clever. And it goes against us here. We're going to lose this entire left. So well done, SnuggleBunnies, but I hope you are aware that I'm never going to let you live down the fact that you used the cavalry pinning tactic 3 times in one match against me. Thing is, I'm doing this just to get hit by the elephants a turn later. Suppose I can try to hit them with the javelins. Yeah, I doubt 2 loads of javelins were going to cut it. Weirdly enough, I don't actually want this unit to break because it's protecting my units against those elephants. But I suppose it's also protecting his disrupted Phoenician stealth foot, so I guess I have to go for it. Right. So he'll probably wait until they break, but it might panic and spread terror amongst the Phoenicians. It might break the Phoenician still foot because they could double drop from that, and the elephants might also panic. There's lots of mites there, which I don't like, but so all of this is going to explode, and that's going to drop my score like a rock. I need to think carefully about what I'm going to use this unit for. Because I think I'm probably best off at this point just trying to maybe try and rescue this unit with this unit and start to move my troops towards this side of the battlefield, where I am somewhat gaining the upper hand. But I say somewhat gaining the upper hand because it's not over yet, and I'm losing here. And that unit's rallied up just in time to save itself from getting broken by the light javelin horse. Okay, well, we definitely wanted to break the veteran African spearman over here. And then I think I'll have enough resources to win this battle. But we need to hurry up. Next turn. You know, you could have just charged. You probably would have broken the pike block that way. Well, we're going full cheese today. I have never regretted using a unit of troops of Velites more in my life. The worst part is I've seen situations like that before and I've known not to do it, so what the heck was I thinking there? And I think they're going to turn around now. I don't mind losing to my opponent's cleverness when it's my own stupidity that gets me, that I get annoyed. And look where they ran. Look where they ran, right to where I can't attack. Oh. Heartbreaking, absolutely heartbreaking. Well, oh, but then that was going to happen. I might not have wasted the move. Right, stagger towards this flank. We would have caught them in the flank if that Hastati Principe's unit hadn't routed into the exact spot. That's the second time that's happened to me since I started recording this. But I deserve it after that. I'm so annoyed with myself for letting that happen because it was so predictable. Right. So it depends. Are these units, first of all, are these units going to hold on? Right. Okay. We can still get the flank on the veteran African spears. Give them the general so they hold on. I'm just going to have to accept a loss for this unit because they'll get flanked by the... no, actually the elephants will hold them in place, so we won't get flanked. I've bought myself enough time that I can recover from this blunder. Of course, well done to SnuggleBunnies also for spotting that I'd left that situation vulnerable. Oh goodness, this is probably the worst situation you could possibly ask for of your ability. Thankfully the light javelin horse ran away. Oh, he's gonna pin them in. What am I... Stupid... Okay. I'm getting tired and I'm just gonna shut up this turn. Because he will charge in and block my Thureophori, and then he'll turn to flank. Now, admittedly, he's taking losses doing that, because every time he charges in like that, he'll weaken his light javelin horse. But it's not worth losing these guys over, not by a long shot. And if I take too long, I could end up losing here as well. Next turn. Cripes. 3 rallies. At least we're free of them. Huh. That's a disrupted unit, isn't it? Great. Well, that helps. Need to hope this fragments them. Didn't even win impact. Oh, that helps. Oh, they held firm again. Can't seem to deal a fatal blow to them. Did Bunny miss this potential flank attack? Just need to slowly move these units back towards the battlefield. take us 3 turns before we can flank this unit, and they might be back in the battle by that time. Let's see, 1. I suppose in the same number of turns we could be ready to attack this unit here. Because my units are so diminished in number. Means leaving this unit to die, but I really do need to get my troops back. I'm not going to win over here. I need to get my troops back over to this flank to help. Because the only way I'm going to win this battle now is to win that battle on the right flank. I can't block all of these cavalry charges. I can block this one for a turn, but I can't block this one as well. You know what? That unit of light javelin horse is more beaten up. I'll pin this unit instead. No, that won't work because they'll just ride out of the zone. That's the only one I can actually. No, I think he can just ride through. There's nothing I can do. The most I can hope to do is avenge my Hastati and raw legionaries with my Hastati Principes. This is looking really grim now. And it's the horse which are winning it for him. You think about the number of disruptions that those light javelin horse have won, the number of times they've tied me down. Just a couple of light javelin horse used well can completely decide a battle. These are doomed. Well, we've rallied up here. If I turn them around, maybe they can get to the battlefield and influence something. As to why, I don't know, maybe I shouldn't have engaged there, should have just held back. Okay, next turn. Well, we live another day. If they don't immediately panic, this could pan out. More skirmishers. Okay. Don't know if we're going to survive long enough. Yep, I knew that was coming. Gosh, I wish the light horse would just leave us alone. This has been they've been a nightmare this entire battle. Absolute hell to deal with. Oh good, that's a huge help. If we can survive long enough, we might even be able to help our Italian foot and a rally. Yeah, just need to keep the faith that things will be alright if I can just make the right decisions now. Right, go where we're scared first, because there's not really anything I can do to support this. Okay. About 2 turns from the auto break, assuming nothing goes wrong. We've got rid of the veterans, but they could still come back. They're superior troops. They're not auto-broken yet. But okay, our infantry have panicked. Well, not panicked, but they're disrupted. We are actually winning this battle. No, what am I saying? Oh, come on, lads. Once again, I can't stop them from going in, so that unit's going to break. We're getting very close to the draw now. I think if I could walk away from this with just a draw, I'd be happy. Keep closing in on the other units, and for heaven's sake, do not leave the rough ground yet. It's what's protecting us. I'd never have got to them in time anyway. They've only got 2 turns left. The question is, can I win this with a... Can I win this by rout score? Obviously, it wouldn't count as a victory in the tournament, can I? But I can at least get... I can at least have that to my name. Bring up our support. So hopefully those velites are safe now. You guys just try and crawl away before the light horse get you. Okay. If these guys held on another turn, we could possibly flank the elephants, but flanking them with a disrupted unit of raw legionaries doesn't sound like a recipe for much good. In fact, actually, this is going to draw out. We're not going to have time to do anything else. I might manage to get the flank on these Phoenician-style foot if there are 3 turns left where I can actually move. I think there's 3 turns of actual movement left. We are, of course, going to lose here. In fact, I didn't even hold for that period of time. We're down a percentage point. We'll drop further. I think SnuggleBunnies has this. He's out-generaled me here. I was so convinced I could smash apart this fragile-looking line, and he just pulled back and he used all of the elements he had available to him to close me down here. Something. Yeah, never mind. Let's keep going. Actually, I think I'm going to lose at this turn, just from just the hunch. No, surely that's impossible. Alright. So of course the drop there is automatic. That's fine, my cavalry, my troops can keep that under control. Tired. So he's beaten me here. And in more than one sense, because I let it get under my skin as well. Right. And I lost. Damn you. Why couldn't you fight it just a little bit harder? Okay. Why couldn't you command just a little bit better? You guys just try and stay away from all of this. I don't want to lose anyone to a rout now. Beaten by... okay. SnuggleBunnies said close game the turn before last, and I didn't reply. I'd better send him a message or he'll think I'm sulking or have hung myself with my microphone or something. Which is difficult because I use the microphone on my computer. Oh god, he's closing me in. Wrong unit to rally. That might just save us. You guys need to get the heck out of dodge. Just get away, run as far and as fast as you can. Looking out for units that are vulnerable to auto-braking. And this unit's not in great shape, but it's not about to auto-brake. I could make one last desperate attempt to catch these light javelin. It's the end of the battle, let's do it anyway. Of course, and they end up in the charge path with the elephants. Thankfully I think they have enough steam left that they're not going to auto-brake. See if these units only evade a little way. Nah. It's all coming up, Bunny. See if we can get fragmentation here. Nope. Aha! So we can get something there. We can break this unit. Alright. Well, that was my last arrow fired. Good game. Well done. Yeah, well, Bunny says that we're out of time, but I think the fact this isn't a tournament game, the fact that he got to 58%, and I am only at 47, as far as I'm concerned, that's a victory for him. Uh, oops. Please tell me night falls. That was grueling. Okay. Post-mortem. With emphasis on the mortem. Well, the first mistake was made right at the start of the battle where I didn't have at least one unit of cavalry on my left and one unit of cavalry on my right. You always go into an open field battle like this with some elements of cavalry, something that can move around the map and catch the enemy cavalry and bring them to account. It was incredibly foolish of me to not bring a cavalry force to the battle. I managed to kind of cover it for a while, but eventually, of course, he got around my back and he got into the back of my troops, and the rest of it was just physics. So when he smashed into that part of my line, if I'd had a unit, even just a rubbish unit of armoured cavalry, then that wouldn't have happened. I could have kept that at bay. But I thought I could keep it under control with the infantry, and it ended up, as long as I outnumbered his line, and that's what happened. Second, I should have known this. I fought countless battles against Nosy Rat where he used Dacians on rough and medium infantry on rough ground to prevent my Galatians from advancing onto it, and then getting cavalry into my rear. And I should have realised that this setup was perfect for doing that. And I completely underestimated the use of the light cavalry, especially the use of the blocking tactic. And again, that was something I used to outfox my opponents before. It's something I should have seen coming. So that's what I should have done. There's just so much I should have done better there, and so much I should have anticipated. It's not. I'd hesitate to call it complacency after the tournament. It's also a question of concentration. It takes an immense amount of concentration to keep your eye on all elements of the battlefield and anticipate every potential threat and every potential move your opponent could make. And it has been a year I haven't seen these kinds of. The thing is, I talked about those kinds of tactics, but I haven't actually gone up against them or had a chance to use them myself yet in a battle. And I think because I encountered it before and beaten it before, I developed a certain amount of I started to underestimate a defensive strategy. I started to feel like offense was always the way to go, and when I saw SnuggleBunnies bunkering up like this at the back of the map, I started to feel like, yeah, this was a position I can crack. It's just a defensive position. It's the kind of thing you've assaulted 100 times before. Just go for it and you'll be fine. And yeah, it wasn't fine. I pretty much walked straight into a disaster here. So let's have a look. I mean, those guys, yeah, those Principes would have gone anyway. I could have avoided that. I was going for the light javelin, but that would have ended the battle. But assuming it hadn't gone like that, and I kept out the way of the elephant charge, There's a possibility, well, no, not with this situation going the way it was, but I think those light javelin horses would have auto-broken. But then he would just have caught me with his cavalry, so Bunny would have won the battle had it gone on any further. And just to talk about my general demeanour, because I know that I got quite hot under the collar, it's not some kind of spoilt, oh, I really wanted to win that and I didn't situation. It's more frustration with myself when I see a situation where I know that I could have done better and I could have commanded better. It gets under my collar a little bit. I can't fault Bunny's performance. I mean, in terms of the resource he had, he did everything pretty much perfectly. That was a textbook defense of rough ground, using rough ground to supplement your force and using the light cavalry to lock in units of heavy infantry which aren't supported properly. And my lights, I forgot about my lights at one point. I ended up leaving them back towards the battle. I have been playing a lot of Field of Glory 2 and also a lot of Total War trying to get the channel going. And I think I was tired on some of these turns. And I wasn't fully... I was flustered as well because things were going else. I mean, every excuse, of course, under the sun. The point is, I wasn't paying enough attention and I ended up actually forgetting about some of my elements. I'm not sure if these units being here turn earlier would have helped. I mean, as it turns out, this lot were just marching to their deaths. But maybe it would have helped to have been paying more attention to that side of the battlefield. I don't know. Anyway, folks, well done to SnuggleBunnies for a hard-fought and well-deserved victory. And yeah, I'll see you, and I've no doubt I'll meet him again on the battlefield. Aside from anything else, we're going the rounds in both Pike, well, not in Pike and Shops, but we're going in, yeah, but we're going the rounds in the Sengoku Jidai Shadow of the Shogun right now. And I recommend wholeheartedly that you check out SnuggleBunny's channel, and I'll link it in the description. So please go and check it out. I'll just break off there. And I'm just trying to catch my breath. Thank you for watching the video. Please consider please like the video and subscribe to the channel if you enjoyed the content and you want to see more. And I will see you in the next one. Farewell. And the review screen.